All right. I think I've got it on there. Yep. Happy Sabbath. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm Lee. Going to continue our study of the minor prophets. And we're in the book of Zechariah now, and only one left after this. So that'll be number 12 here, Malachi. So Zechariah's kind of long, not as long as some books, but all right. Hopefully I don't get choked up when I start reading. Zechariah chapter 1. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, Yahuwah's word came to Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, Yahuwah was very displeased with your fathers. Therefore tell them, Yahuwah of armies says, return to me, says Yahuwah of armies, and I'll return to you, says Yahuwah of armies, Yahuwah Sebaoth. Don't you be like your fathers to whom the former prophets proclaimed, saying, Yahuwah of armies says, return now from your evil ways and from your evil doings, but they didn't hear nor listen to me, says Yahuwah. And that's from the Greek minor prophet scroll, found in Nahal Heber. So verse 4, let's see if we got another witness here. So verse 4, verse 5. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my decrees, which I commanded my servants the prophets, didn't they overtake your fathers? Then they repented and said, just as Yahuwah of armies determined to do according to our ways and according to our practices, so he has dealt with us. So he deals with us according to our ways and according to our practices. 6. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to go over this is the Brenton Septuagint, Zechariah. So we got verse 6 there. Got the RSV pulled up here. Verse 6. But do you receive my words and mine ordinances, all that I commanded by my spirit to my servants the prophets, who lived in the days of your fathers? And they answered and said, as Yahuwah Almighty determined to do to us, according to our ways and according to our practices, so has he done to us. On the 24th day in the 11th month, this is the month of Sabbat, in the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, the word of Yahuwah came to Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, and sometimes I get mixed up with these different years, and there's other people that are good at that kind of thing, matching up the years and who was reigning and stuff like that. I saw by night, behold, a man mounted on a red horse, and he stood between the shady mountains. That's interesting, red horse. And behind him were red horses, and gray and piebald and white. And I said, what are these, my master? And the angel that spoke with me said to me, and this is just the word messenger from the Greek, so angelos, it comes in angel. So messenger can be the word of God, son of God. The messenger can be an actual angel. A messenger can be a prophet. And the messenger that spoke with me said to me, I will show thee what these things are. He's got this translated as angel here too. be taught me. I'll show you what these are. And the different colored horses are missing in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So here in the RSV, red, sorrel, and white horses. Adom, red. Interesting. Adam's name is Adam. Myrtle trees, Hadass. So Adom, Susim, speckled Sirach, and Laban, white. Interesting. Laban. Never thought about that. Laban was Jacob's uncle. Yeah. So white, speckled Sirach, sorrel, reddish, tawny bay. So this one's red horse, red horse, red horse. Red, ruddy of a man, horse, heifer, garment, water, lentils. Rosy cheeks of a chestnut or bay horse. So these two are white color, red colored, and then there's white. Interesting, the sins are red and cleanness or being pure is white. I'll show you what these are. The man who stood among the myrtle trees answered, they are the ones Yahuwah has sent to go back and forth through the earth. Verse 10. And they answered, the messenger of Yahuwah that stood between the mountains and said, we have gone round all the earth, and behold, all the earth is inhabited and is at rest. Then Yahuwah's messenger replied, or Malachim, O Yahuwah of armies, how long will you not have mercy on Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda, against which you have had indignation these 70 years? So that's how long 70 years was prophesied by Jeremiah, that the southern kingdom would be dispersed. And Daniel references that. 70 years. See, these prophets are just mouthpieces of Yahuwah. That's why you got to be careful who you speak against and who you listen to. Because there's false prophets and there's people that he sends to tell people stuff. Let me go RSP. Jeremiah 25. Okay, stop with the pop-ups. Goodness gracious. Yep, so This whole land shall become a ruin and a waste, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. Then after 70 years are completed, I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, the land of the Chaldeans, for their iniquity, says Yahuwah, making the land an everlasting waste. I'll bring upon that land all the words which I have uttered against it, everything written in this book, which Jeremiah prophesied against all the nations. So that's the prophecy that Daniel mentions too, I believe. Oops. So Yahuwah answered the messenger who talked with me with kind and comforting words. So the messenger talked with me, said to me, proclaim, saying, Yahuwah of armies says, I am zealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. To be zealous or jealous. Dictionaries are helpful. Most people don't know definitions. Copy. Some can't spell, like me. I used to be really good at spelling. Jealous, envious, or resentful of the good fortune or achievements of another. I doubt that God is envious or resentful. Fearful or wary of losing one's position or situation to someone else, especially in a sexual relationship. No, that's not God. Having to do with or arising from feelings of envy, apprehension, or bitterness. These are not attributes of God. Okay? So, when you see jealousy, with great jealousy, that's wrong English word choice. Okay? Sometimes translators struggle. Okay? Zealous, filled with or motivated by zeal, fervent, warmly engaged, ardent in behalf of an object, religious zeal. So if we go to zealous, that's what happens when they use theological dictionaries to translate stuff too. I can spell it. He was zealous. So here's an example in Numbers 25:11. Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, hath turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consume not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Doesn't make any sense. My zealousy. So he was zealous. Kana. See what the lexicon says. Born with zeal for any person or thing, followed by one's cause. So zeal. Enthusiastic devotion to a cause, ideal, or goal. Synonym, passion. Passionate ardor in pursuit of anything, eagerness in favor of a person or cause, ardent and active interest, engagedness, enthusiasm, fervor, zealot. That makes more sense. For the Greek, zealousy, so we know what he's talking about now, not jealousy. 13, he has no reason to be jealous. Everything is his. So the Malachim who talked with me said to me, proclaim, saying, Yahuwah of armies says, I am zealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great zealousy. 14. 14 to 19. And the angel that spoke to me said to me, cry out and say, thus saith you Almighty. And okay, yeah, so 14, same one. And I'm very angry. I'm very angry with the heathen that combined to attack her, for as much as I indeed was a little angry, but they combined to attack her for evil. That is Jerusalem, Zion. Therefore thus saith Yahuwah, I will return to Jerusalem with compassion, and my house shall be rebuilt in her, saith Yahuwah Almighty. And a measuring line shall yet be stretched out over Jerusalem. And the messenger that spoke with me said to me, cry yet and say, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, yet shall cities be spread abroad through prosperity, and Yahuwah shall yet have mercy on Zion, and shall choose Jerusalem. So I'm guessing the Septuagint continues on. Yep, so chapter 2 is different. They break chapter 1 off at that verse, and they start chapter 2. So we're going to continue on here. I asked the messenger who talked with me, what are these? He answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Yehuda, Israel, and Jerusalem. And so horns are authorities, kingdoms, rulers, headship, can be different things. So if you go back to the Hebrew word, you can kind of understand what he's talking about a little better. So ram's horn. So here, 1 Samuel 2:1, and Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoiceth in Yahuwah, mine horn is exalted in Yahuwah, my mouth is enlarged over mine enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. 1 Samuel 2:1. So my horn, Karen, horn of strength. So a horn, symbol of strength and power, an image taken from bulls and other horned animals. The horn of Moab is broken, his strength is broken. To exalt or lift up anyone's horn as God, to increase his power and dignity. My horn is high, my strength increases, I acquire a new spirit, gives the verses to sight. In the same sense, we have taken horns to ourselves. On the other hand, in a bad sense, to lift up one's own horn, to be proud. A lot of that going around. Used of those who, from too much confidence in their own powers, are overbearing. Also, there is a similar metaphor in the following. I have put my horn in the dust, where we, in the usage of our language, would say my head, on which is the highest honor and glory. David calls God Karen, Yeshua, the horn of my help, or of my liberation, the instrument of liberation, and it was taken from horned animals which use their horns as defense. Psalm 132:17. So you see how a lexicon is much better at helping to understand different things than a Strong's Concordance. And this is an old lexicon. Newer ones would be like Halot, Dictionary Classical Hebrew would be better. But this still does a good job. So these are the horns which have scattered Yehuda, Israel, and Jerusalem. Yahuwah showed me 4 craftsmen. And that's interesting that he says, he's talking about the horses and what they are. He says the horses are the horns. So the kingdoms or powers which he used the kingdoms to scatter Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. He used Assyria and Babylon. Then I asked, what are these coming to do? So in Revelation, that could be the horses, or could be the kingdoms. I don't know. It's always confusing in Revelation. Could be 4 kings or 4 kingdoms. Power was given to him on the 4th part of the earth. I mean, what rules the earth now? All the different kingdoms. America, Canada, England. It's all Rome, but there's different kingdoms within a kingdom. We know Rome rules until the end, so I mean, if Rome rules until the Messiah comes back, per Daniel, when the stone breaks Rome up, I mean, and Rome is a beast of the earth, just like the other kingdoms were. It makes sense that that would be like a part of Rome or a kingdom to do that. I don't know. Revelation chapter 6. You got a white horse just like in Zechariah. The crown was given to him. He went forth conquering to conquer. Take peace from the earth. They should kill one another. I mean, all the kingdoms of the earth are doing this stuff. Some people say, like, the first one, like, the crown or the corona or whatever was earlier. And then you see, take peace from the earth. They're working on that, and they're working on this here. I mean, they control all the stuff's given into their hand. Yeah. So Yahuwah showed me 4 craftsmen. Let's see, these are the horns. What are these coming to do? He said, these are the horns which scattered Judah, so that no man lift up his head, but these have come to terrify them, to cast down the horns of the nations which lift up their horn against the land of Yehudah, to scatter it. These are measuring line. So, verse 3. Lift up my eyes and looked, to behold a man, and in his hand was a measuring line. I said to him, whither goest thou? And he said to me, to measure Jerusalem, and to see what is the breadth of it, and what is the length of it. And behold, the messenger that spoke with me stood by, and another angel went forth to measure. Who talked with me went out. Okay, so stood by, that's the Greek. Another angel who talked with me went out, and another angel went out to meet him, and said to him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem will be inhabited as villages without walls, because of the multitude of men and livestock in it. For I, says Yahuwah, will be to her a wall of fire around it, and I will be the glory in the middle of her. And he was the fire in the Exodus also. Come, come, flee from the land of the north, says Yahuwah, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the sky, says Yahuwah. Yep, so he spread them abroad to the four corners of the earth. Isaiah 11, Jeremiah 23, Jeremiah 30, 31, Isaiah 12, 13, 43, 44, 65, 66, Psalm 96, 101, Ezekiel 20, second half, Ezekiel 36, 37, lots of other places. Come Zion, escape, you who dwell with the daughter of Babylon. You who dwell with the daughter of Babylon. For Yahuwah of armies says, for honor he has sent me to the nations which plundered you. For he who touches you touches the apple of his eye. So where the Israel is the apple of his eye, spread into the nations. For behold, I will shake my hand over them, and they will be a plunder to those who serve them, and you will know that Yahuwah of armies has sent me. Sing and rejoice, daughter of Zion, for behold, I come, and I will dwell within you, says Yahuwah. It's coming back. 10, 11. And many nations shall flee for refuge to Yahuwah in that day, and they shall be for a people to him, and they shall dwell in the midst of thee. And thou shalt know that Yahuwah Almighty has sent me to thee. Yahuwah will inherit Yehudah as his portion in the Holy Land, and will again choose Jerusalem. Be silent, all flesh, before Yahuwah, for he has roused himself from his holy habitation. Who can speak a word before him? Nahum 1:6. Who can stand before his indignation, and who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. Yahuwah is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. But with an overrunning flood he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. What do you imagine against Yahuwah? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. The mountains quake at him, the hills melt, the earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein. I know that's in there somewhere too. It's a lot. There's a lot. The pillars of the earth are Yahuwah's. Pillars? I thought it was a ball. I'll go with the scripture. It's pillars. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, and for by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of Yahuwah shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. Yahuwah shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed. Who is that? Who's that? Because I know Messiah is coming back. And that does not always mean God Almighty. There. Exalt the horn of his anointed. I know Messiah is technically king because he's prince. He's direct successor in the line for the throne. If you know anything about kings and princes and things like that, which most people don't. So he's roused himself from his holy habitation. That's Messiah. He's coming back. Messiah's coming back. His Father sitting in heaven is not coming back. So 12. For he has risen from his holy clouds. That's the Greek. Alright, so Zechariah 3. He showed me Yahushua the high priest standing before Yahuwah's angel, messenger, and Satan standing at his right hand to be his adversary. Yahuwah said to Satan, Yahuwah rebuke you. Excuse me. Yahuwah said to Satan, Yahuwah rebuke you, Satan. Yes, Yahuwah who has chosen Jerusalem, rebuke you. Isn't this a burning stick plucked out of the fire? Now Yahushua was clothed with filthy garments and was standing before the messenger. He spoke to those who stood before him, saying, Take the filthy garments off him. To him he said, Behold, I have caused your iniquity to pass from you, and I will clothe you with rich clothing. I said, Let them set a clean turban on his head. Sounds like the priest. What do they do with the priest? Set the turban on his head. Where's it at? Exodus 29. Now this is what you shall do to them to consecrate them, that they may serve me as priests. Take one young bull and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread, unleavened cakes mixed with oil, and unleavened wafers spread with oil. You shall make them of fine wheat flour, and you shall put them in one basket, and bring them in the basket, and bring the bull and the 2 rams. You shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tent of meeting, and wash them with water. And you shall take the garments, and put on Aaron the coat, and the robe of the ephod, and the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the skillfully woven band of the ephod. And you shall set the turban on his head, and put the holy crown upon the turban. And you shall take the anointing oil, and pour it on his head, and anoint him. Then you shall bring his sons, and put coats on them, and you shall gird them with girdles, and bind caps on them. Caps, interesting. You got the rabbis that put the little cap on their head. You trying to be sons of Aaron. And the priesthood shall be theirs by perpetual state. Thus you shall ordain Aaron and his sons. Then you shall bring the bull before the tent of meeting. Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands upon the head of the bull. And you shall kill the bull before Yahuwah at the door of the tent of meeting. And shall take part of the blood of the bull and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger. And the rest of the blood you shall pour out at the base of the altar. And you shall take the fat that covers the entrails and the appendage of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them, and burn them upon the altar. This fat here is a different kind of fat, if you know anything about butchering an animal. This fat here is it's brittle. You can crush it in your fingers, and that's what they feed birds. It's called suet. But the flesh of the bull and its skin and its dung you shall burn with fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering. Then you shall take one of the rams, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands upon the head of the ram. You shall slaughter the ram, and shall take its blood and throw it against the altar round about. Then you shall cut the ram into pieces, and wash its entrails and its legs, and put them with its pieces on its head, and burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering to Yahuwah. It is a pleasing odor, an offering by fire to Yahuwah. You shall take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands upon the head of the ram. You shall kill the ram, and take part of its blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tips of the right ears of his sons, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and put upon the great toes of their right feet. Yep, these are kind of important. I've had my big toes bothering me quite a while now. And throw the rest of the blood against the altar round about. Then you shall take part of the blood that is on the altar and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron and his garments, and upon his sons and his sons' garments with him. And he and his garments shall be holy, and his sons garments with him. You shall also take the fat of the ram, and the fat tail, and the fat that covers the entrails, and the appendage of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them, and the right thigh, for it is a ram of ordination, and 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of bread with oil, and 1 wafer out of the basket of unleavened bread that is before Yahuwah. Unleavened bread. You shall put all these in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons. You shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahuwah. Then you shall take them from their hands and burn them on the altar in addition to the burnt offering as a pleasing odor before Yahuwah. It is an offering by fire to Yahuwah. And you shall take the breast of the ram of Aaron's ordination and wave it for a wave offering before Yahuwah, and it shall be your portion. And you shall consecrate the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the priest portion, which is waved and which is offered from the ram for ordination, since it is for Aaron and for his sons. And it shall be for Aaron and his sons as a perpetual due from the people of Israel. For it is the priest's portion to be offered by the people of Israel from their peace offerings, is their offering to Yahuwah. The holy garments of Aaron shall be for his sons after him, to be anointed in them and ordained in them. The son who is priest in his place shall wear them 7 days when he comes to the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place. You shall take the ram. It's interesting how they translate that, tent of meeting. It says tent, appointed time. Yeah, tent. Ohel Moed, yeah, tent of appointed time. So it's the tent of appointed time. It's not just the tent of meeting. Happy Sabbath, Luke. So you shall take the ram of ordination and boil its flesh in a holy place, and Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket at the door of the tent of meeting. They shall eat those things with which atonement was made to ordain and consecrate them, but an outsider shall not eat of them, because they are holy. And if any of the flesh for the ordination or of the bread remain until the morning, then you shall burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. Thus you shall do to Aaron and to his sons according to all that I have commanded you. Through 7 days shall you ordain them, and every day you shall offer a bull as a sin offering for atonement. Also you shall offer a sin offering for the altar when you make atonement for it, and you shall anoint it to consecrate it. 7 days you shall make atonement for the altar and consecrate it, and the altar shall be most holy. Whatever touches the altar shall become holy. I guess I could read that last part too. Now this is what you shall offer upon the altar: 2 lambs a year old, day by day continually. 1 lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer in the evening. And with the first lamb 1/10 measure of fine flour mingled with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine for a libation. And the other lamb you shall offer in the evening, and shall offer with its cereal offering and its libation as in the morning, for a pleasing odor, and offering by fire to Yahuwah. It shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the door of the tent of the appointed time before Yahuwah, where I will meet with you to speak there to you. There I will meet with the people of Israel, and it shall be sanctified by my glory. I will consecrate the tent of the appointed time and the altar. Aaron also and his sons I will consecrate to serve me as priests, and I will dwell among the people of Israel and will be their God. And they shall know that I am Yahuwah their God, who brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, that I might dwell among them. I am Yahuwah their God. So Jude tells you Messiah brought him out of Egypt. The animal apocalypse Enoch shows the Messiah bringing him out of Egypt. Father, God Almighty, Most High, does not come down and dwell among the people. They would be destroyed. His Son comes down and dwells among the people. So, oh my goodness, stop popping up. So it says here, let them set a clean turban on his head. So this seems like this would be a priest that is not clean. But when he returns, you're going to put a clean turban on his head. So they set a clean turban on his head and clothed him, and Yahuwah's messenger, or Malachim, was standing by. Yahuwah's Malachim protested to Yehoshua, saying, Yahuwah of armies says, if you will walk in my ways, and if you will follow my instructions, then you shall also judge my house, and shall also keep my courts, and I will give you a place of access among these who stand by. Yahuwah of armies says, okay, hear now, Yehoshua the high priest, you and your fellows who sit before you, for they are men who are assigned. Sorry. For behold, I'll bring out my servant, the branch. It's interesting. Messiah said he's the vine or the branches. John 15, I am the true vine. My Father is the husbandman. John 15:5, I am the vine, you are the branches. So he says, you and your fellows, for behold the stone that I have set before Yahushua, on one stone are 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave its engraving, says Yahuwah of armies, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day. What land? Israel. In that day, says Yahuwah of armies, you will invite every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree. Zechariah 4, the angel, or Malachim, who talked with me came again and wakened me. As a man who is awakened out of his sleep, he said to me, what do you see? I said, I have seen, and behold, a lampstand all of gold with its bowl on top of it, and its 7 lamps on it. There are 7 pipes to each of the lamps, which are on the top of it. 2 olive trees above it, one on the right bowl and one on the left. And I answered and spoke to the messenger who talked with me, saying, what are these, my master? And the messenger that talked with me answered and spoke to me, saying, knowest not thou not what these things are? And I said, no, my master. And he answered and spoke to me, saying, this is the word of Yahuwah to Zerubbabel, saying, not by mighty power nor by strength, but by my spirit, saith Yahuwah Almighty. Who art thou, the great mountain before Zerubbabel, that thou shouldst prosper? Whereas I will bring out the stone of the inheritance, the grace of it, the equal of my grace. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, and his hand shall finish it. And thou shalt know that Yahuwah Almighty has sent me to thee. For who has despised the small days? Surely they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet of 10 in the hand of Zerubbabel. These are the 7 eyes that look upon all the earth. Yeah, I think things are a lot deeper than any of us can grasp. Happy Sabbath, trust y'all. Let's look it up over here. There we go. Proverbs 15:3. That's what I was looking for. So the eyes of Yahuwah are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. 2 Chronicles 16:9. For the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in behalf of those whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. You shall see the palm of 10, the hand of Zerubbabel. These are the 7 eyes that look upon all the earth. Hold on 1 second. And I answered and said to him, what are these 2 olive trees which are on the right hand and the left hand of the candlestick? And I asked the second time and said to him, what are the 2 branches of the olive trees? Again, Messiah said, I am the vine, you are the branches that are by the side of the 2 golden pipes that pour into and communicate with the golden oil funnels. And he said to me, knowest thou not what these are? And I said, no, my master. And he said, these are the 2 anointed ones that stand by Yahuwah of the whole earth. And it's got a note here, Greek is sons of fatness. Also Revelation 11:4. So let's go back here. Ancient understanding is a lot different than ours. Sons of fatness. These are 2 olive trees and 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. So, Revelation 11, there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the messenger stood, Malachim stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God. We saw him measure Jerusalem just a minute ago, right? And the altar and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall be tread under foot 42 months. And I will give power unto 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. So it tells you it's the olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing for the God of the earth. It says Messiah is the God of the earth, and say God of heaven, God of earth. Messiah made the earth. Yeah, I quit going back and forth with people. Just like you just gonna have to go study for yourself. Like it's Isaiah 40:22. 22. If he calls you out and he tells you, praise you out. Is that 40? No. It was in there. Hang on one second. Let me pull that up right quick. Yep, that's before that. So Isaiah 48? Come on, man. Maybe I didn't share it. No, I don't think I did. Alright, so which one is it? $48. Oh, where's it? 41. Give me just a minute. I think I can find it right quick. No. Yep, he's Redeemer. He's God of the earth. People will be like, oh, that don't matter. Okay. Okay. Whatever. Is that 49? Oh my goodness, where's it at? God of the so not Isaiah, I know that. Isaiah. That it? 45? Come on. Sorry, I ain't trying to waste your time, but it's in here. Yeah. Pretty sure it says he's God of the earth. I bet they, see if they updated it. See if I can find it that way. Depends on your translation. He is called God of the earth, Isaiah 54. Is that it? Yeah, 54. Search. Sorry for all the scrolling. He will be called God of the whole earth. For your maker is your husband. He made us. Paul tells you that. Yahuwah of armies is his name. The Holy, that's where people get tripped up. They say Yahuwah, that's the Father, so it can't be Messiah. The Holy One of Yisrael is your Redeemer. He's our Redeemer. He's coming back to get us. He will be called the God of the whole earth. Let's see. That's not it, though. It was removed. He's God of the earth. It's in the Dead Sea Scrolls and it was removed. Anyways, I ain't gonna spend no more time on that. Alright, so Revelation. I know who that is. I'm trying to explain it to people. Before the God of the earth. Before Messiah. If any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth and devour their enemies. If any man will hurt them, he must be in the same manner killed. And we know that Elijah called fire down from heaven. These had power to shut heaven, that it rained not in the days of their prophecy. Elijah did the same thing. He prayed for it not to rain, it didn't rain. And he prayed for rain again, it rained. And had power over waters to turn them into blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. Now we know Enoch and Elijah are in the garden, based on Jubilees. And Enoch telling us direction to the garden. Well, it tells you where Enoch's at, and the same thing happened to Elijah. So we don't know what powers Enoch had. He more than likely, 100% more than likely had powers, some kind of powers, because Elijah did miracles just like this. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. So it's appointed unto men to die once. Then the judgment, the two people that never died, was Enoch and Elijah. Moses died. So their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. We know that's Jerusalem. Mystery Babylon, Babylon. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. They that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. Two prophets, Enoch and Elijah. After 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven, saying unto them, Come hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Their enemies beheld them. This is a Greek translation. But the same thing happened to Enoch and Elijah. They were taken up on the chariot, cloud, whatever you want to call it. Same thing happened to him the first time. It's interesting, Messiah was in the grave 3 days. So, chapter 5, probably stop on chapter 5, verse 8. And I turned, lifted up my eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying sickle. And he said to me, What seest thou? And I said, I see a flying sickle, the length of 20 cubits, and of the breadth 10 cubits. And he said to me, This is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. For every thief shall be punished with death on this side, and every false swearer shall be punished on that side. And I will bring it forth, saith Yahuwah Almighty, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that swears falsely by my name. And it shall rest in the midst of his house, and shall consume it, and the timber of it, and the stones of it. And the Malachim that taught me went forth, and said to me, Lift up thine eyes, and see this that goes forth. And I said, What is it? He said, This is the measure that goes forth. And he said, This is their iniquity in all the earth, lawlessness. And behold, a town of lead lifted up, and behold, a woman sat in the midst of the measure. I went back to the measure, and he said, This is wickedness. And he threw her down in the middle of the ephah basket, and he threw the weight of lead on its mouth. Then lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there were 2 women, and the wind was in their wings. Now they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah basket between earth and the sky. Then I said to the Malachim who talked with me, Where are these carrying the ephah basket? And he said to me, To build her a house in the land of Shinar. Excuse me. That is Babylon. When it is prepared, she will be set there in her own place. Build her house in Babylon. Genesis 10:10, the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. 11, 12. Guess we could do one more. Chapter 6, again I lifted up my eyes and saw, behold, 4 chariots came out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of bronze. We can look in that in the book of Enoch, mountains of bronze. The first chariot were red horses, second chariot black horses, third chariot white horses, fourth chariot dappled horses. Very similar to Revelation, all of them powerful. And the ash color went out and looked, so and they compassed the earth. No, so verse 3, 4. And the Malachim that talked with me answered and said, These are the 4 winds of heaven. They are going forth to stand before Yahuwah of all the earth. So he said, These horses are the 4 winds of heaven. We see that in Enoch too. Stand before the Yahuwah of all the earth. Satan did the same thing. As for the chariot in which were the black horses, they went out to the land of the north, and the white went out after them, and the piebald went out to the land of the south. And ash color went out and looked to go and compass the earth, and he said, Go and compass the earth, and they compassed the earth. 4 winds of the sky. Okay, so the Dead Sea Scrolls said the 4 winds of the sky, which go out from standing before Yahuwah of all the earth. And he cried out and spoke to me, saying, Behold, these go out in the land of the north, and they have quieted mine anger in the land of the north. The land of the north in Jubilees is Japheth's land. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Take the things of the captivity from the chief men and from the useful men of it. So of the captivity, that's Israel. Or, no, not Israel. The things of the captivity. Would that be the Israelites stuff for the temple, maybe. From the useful men of it, from them that have understood it, and thou shalt enter in that day into the house of Josias, the son of Zephaniah, that came out of Babylon. And thou shalt take silver and gold and make crowns, and thou shalt put them upon the head of Yahushua, or Yahushua, the son of Josedek, the high priest. That would be Joshua. And thou shalt say to him, thus saith Yahuwah Almighty, behold, the man whose name is the branch, there's the branch again. Messiah said he's the vine. He shall spring it from his stem and build the house of Yahuwah. So he's going to build the house of Yahuwah, the temple. He shall receive power and shall sit and rule upon his throne. There shall be a priest on his right hand, and a peaceable counsel shall be between them both. The priest on his right hand. And the crown shall be to them that wait patiently, and to the useful men of the captivity. So of the captivity, that's Israel. The useful men of Israel. And to them that have known it, and for the favor of the sons of Zephaniah, and for the psalm in the house of Yahuwah. And they that are far from them shall come and build the house of Yahuwah, and you shall know that Yahuwah Almighty has sent me to you. And this shall come to pass if you will diligently hearken to the voice of Yahuwah your God. Let's see. It doesn't have 7 at all in there. It just goes to 8. This will come to pass. Okay, so this will come to pass if you will diligently hearken to the voice of your God. That's a good note to end on. Deuteronomy 30. Then will Yahuwah your God release you from captivity, have compassion on you. So that verse 2. Where's 2 at? Come on now. Deuteronomy 2. 32. So, and when all these things have come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind among all the nations where Yahuwah your God has scattered you, driven you, dispersed you, and you return to Yahuwah your God, you and your children obey his voice and all that I command you this day with all your heart and with all your soul. If you hearken to the voice of Yahuwah your God, this will come to pass. He's going to rebuild all this stuff here, regather. That then Yahuwah your God will release you from captivity, have compassion on you, and will return and gather you from all the peoples where Yahuwah your God has scattered you. If your outcasts are in the uttermost parts of the heavens, then from there Yahuwah your God will gather you, and from there he will bring you back. Yahuwah your God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you will possess it. He will do you good and increase your numbers more than your fathers. Yahuwah your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your offspring. Future tense, will circumcise. To love Yahuwah your God with all your heart and with all your soul, that you may live. Yahuwah your God will put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. You shall return and obey Yahuwah's voice and do all his commandments which I command you today. Yahuwah your God will make you plenteous in all the work of your hand, and the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your livestock for good. For Yahuwah will again rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers, if you will obey Yahuwah your God's voice, to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law. If you turn to Yahuwah your God with all your heart and with all your soul. That's what he's referencing here in Zechariah. So that's Zechariah 6. Through 6. Okay. There's going to be a couple of parts to this one. The crown shall be to them that wait patiently. That's also in 2nd Ezra, I believe. Let's go there. And it's interesting that this talks about the servant of the branch, and this white horse right here is given a crown. Crown was given unto him. Messiah's already got a crown. You don't need a crown. He's already the Son of God. Unless it's something else. So, crown. I thought it was in Esdras. Palms. There we go. 2nd Ezra 2:46. Then said I unto the Malachim, what young person is it that crowns them and gives them palms in their hands? So, in the midst of them was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. He was more exalted. That's the Son of Man. That's Son of God. So I asked the Malachim and said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said to me, These be they that have put off mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God, Yahuwah. Now they are crowned and receive palms. I read that. And so he answered and said to me, It is the Son of God. So who is that young person that crowns them and gives them palms? It's the Son of God, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahuwah. Stood stiffly for his name. So they'll call us heretics or whatever. Y'all making it a salvation issue. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's as bad as the church, man. Then the Malachim said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of Yahuwah thy God thou hast seen. So we're supposed to stand for the truth. We're supposed to exhort each other. We're supposed to have good doctrine. Agree to disagree, and unity. Keep the unity no matter what, and all this other garbage is not correct. I want unity just like anybody else. I want to agree. I don't want to have just arguments and stuff because it's draining. It sucks. But while we're working things out, it's going to be difficult. I don't know why people can't get that. Like, don't get offended. Go study, and then bring back your evidence. You know, or be honest. Like, just be honest. Oh, you bothered me. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard, man. Oh boy, living at the end. It's great, ain't it? All right. I hope that study was a blessing and helpful to y'all. And happy Sabbath. Hope y'all have a good rest of Sabbath if you're keeping Sabbath today. April 12th, 2025 on the Roman Saturday. So, all right. Have a good one. Hope to see y'all next time.